I'm so excited that you're here. I'm sure you had a chance to check out my first video where I explained to you why I started a YouTube channel in 2020. This year has been very interesting for a lot of people, but more so has been very interesting for a lot of entrepreneurs. So as I have mentioned in my first video, which I'll actually put in the cards above, is I started one too. But this business has actually been a long dream of mine. It is a women clothing store, but I'm more so going to talk to you about how to get into retail. I feel like that was probably the hardest question for me. I actually started off my career in marketing, working at a marketing executive search firm. Did some marketing for them as well as recruitment. Then I transitioned into tech, and then I was like, you know what, I really want to start this business, so why not now? And that's why I'm here. Even with YouTube, that's pretty much what's my whole motivation this year, was to say, if this is going to be the year where everything starts changing, let me change too. Queen of Anastasia, right? So when it comes to retail, there are three models that most companies follow. I say most just because when you have endless capital, I think it's a little bit easier to maneuver a little differently. You can skip a lot of these steps but for small businesses or online boutiques, a lot of them went along these three routes. I may turn this into a series, so just stay tuned. But for this video today, I'm gonna mostly focus on one that I would recommend not to use right now during Corona or COVID-19. And then the other two I may add into other videos. I may list them here too. So stay tuned. Now, when it comes to retail, I would say there is the traditional form, which is brick and mortar. I'm not an expert in that right now. I do not own a brick and mortar store. My online store is online, it's e-commerce. So that's primarily where I'm going to focus when it comes to retail. So I guess I could just call it e-commerce stores. But what they're, like I said, with the three models, the first one would be drop shipping. Now, I know everybody and probably their grandma has heard of drop shipping just because it really took off about 2 decades ago. And more so really in the last decade, it's really got really popular. You can see them all over YouTube. You see it all over Google as far as drop shipping. Like, what exactly is drop shipping, right? Don't worry, I did all the research for you. So I'm gonna run it down for you really quick. So basically what drop shipping is when you as a business are kind of like a third party. You know, your favorite stores like Target, Walmart, really any brick and mortar store is kind of like a drop shipping situation. And what I mean by that is when you're purchasing from Target, Target houses all of the products for multiple businesses. So the same thing for, like, if you have an online boutique, you could say, hey, I'm going to work with these XYZ brands. They could be in the US or maybe international brands or companies. And you said, hey, I'm gonna purchase your product and sell it to my customer. Or I'm gonna house your product in my online store and my customer can purchase through my, I guess you could say, third party site, purchasing your product versus you having anything to do with the actual product. Now, in a perfect world, maybe like, I would say about 4 years ago, even 3 years ago, 2 years ago, I think that dropshipping can be very profitable for you as a small business or online boutique, mainly because if you don't have the capital to start your own business, let's say like buying inventory and having that all, and that's what I'm gonna get into actually in the next two, but housing it yourself or whatever the case may be, dropshipping is definitely a great option for you. The only issue with that, it comes with a lot of flaws, especially now that we're in the middle of a global pandemic. It actually is not really good for your business right now. Can it be? Yes. I would say those that have started dropshipping, like I said, a year, 2 years, 3 years, 4 years ago, probably are still doing all right now as far as a business, but they are experiencing decline in sales. The customers are not satisfied because their shipping times are way too long. On average, drop shipping times in a perfect world is 2 to 3 weeks as far as the delivery from the time that person press buy now or purchase now or check out in your store So the time they actually get their product is about 3 weeks. And it's because most of the time it's coming from out of the country. Now, when it comes to the post-pandemic, that wait time has increased dramatically. Now, 2 to 3 weeks waiting for clothing is already long enough. But I feel like a lot of people, no, let me be honest here. People lack patience. But some people may be patient, more patient than others, rather. So you have some people that would be like, okay, I can wait, a week before I'll be like, okay, where's my package at? Like, is this store real? Especially if you're just getting your name out there and you're trying to build this rapport with your audience. But if you were to, let's say, been in the game for a while and it was taking a little bit longer for them to get their stuff, they'd be probably a little bit more patient. But I would just say, just on the era of caution here, that's what we're talking about. We're trying to have a thriving business. That 2 to 3 weeks can either hurt you in the long run because people like it always takes them so long to get their stuff out, or they'll be like, I mean, that's just how it works at that place, So it kind of, you don't want to have a negative vibe with your store when it comes to your customers. So that's like I said, in a perfect world. So due to the pandemic, the wait time for deliveries have increased to months, you guys. I don't know about you, but who has months? I don't even care if I ain't going nowhere. Months is a very long time. And when I say months, I mean 2, 3 months. 3 months to get your package. And all you ordered was some socks or a bag or some shoes. And you're like, by the time I got it, the season's over. No. Now, like I said, in the perfect world, if that works best for you, that's fine. Now, this is why I said it has some flaws. Outside of shipping time, we already know that's a big no in today's time. I mean, who got time, But outside of that, the other issue is now we're talking about branding. Now, to be honest, you can work with these manufacturers and they could put your brand name on the products. They could put your logo and or other paraphernalia that you may have that's in association with your brand in the packaging of those items. They can do all of that, but that's building relationships with those manufacturers or vendors or whichever the case, the term you want to use, and really making sure that they are on par with that. But again, because of COVID-19, a lot of these major manufacturers or vendors aren't getting back to you in reasonable amounts of time, or they keep sending these automated messages and nobody's really talking to you, and it becomes a whole hot mess. So because of that, branding suffers, right? So even if your customer does get their package in a decent amount of time, when I say decent, I mean like in a month, your branding suffers, your brand suffers, because it took forever to get here. I forgot what I ordered or where it even came from. I can't even double check if I got it from whatever your store name may be. And yeah, it's real hard for them to be able to come back and say like, oh, I really love the product. Thank you so much. I would love to support, or I want to purchase another product. I was just trying it out this first time. You know what I'm saying? It's hard for you to get that feedback. So that's why I said this is going to be more than likely a series, because I'm passionate about this one, okay? Because I kept seeing everybody on YouTube, even this year, trying to push the whole dropshipping thing. I don't know who's paying these people to say this stuff, but I'm like, you guys, don't try to sell that to a small business, a person that's trying to start out, trying to get started, and you already made your millions. So truth be told, you're moving on to the second or the third model when it comes to how e-commerce actually can work. So I just wanted to, I'm gonna end my rant, but I just wanted to highlight a couple of things about that first approach to e-commerce or online retail. I don't recommend it, especially if you're going to be doing like a clothing store. They have those options, millions of options, and it's beneficial to an extent, but building your store on that, there's no long game in it. Not really. especially when something like this happens, like with Corona, your whole business can flop just because you ran it off of a whole nother entity. Like, it's not sustainable long term. Now, what I will say is that when it comes to any other product, like if it's electronics, and again, this is like post-Corona, just because Corona interrupted everybody's market. If you're going to host anything on your site, and if it's a tangible item, like products that people may not even think of that they may need, but they buy it because they want to, and they may buy it over and over again, or maybe subscribe to you for it over and over again. Those type of things I think actually can work well with drop shipping, just because a lot of times people don't mind waiting for something that they really, really want. But yeah, so my point is, if it's something that you can get all year round, no matter what the season is, like clothing changes season by season, spring, summer, fall, winter. Fall and winter kind of blends a little bit, just a little bit. Spring and summer blends just a little bit, but that changes yearly. There's different trends, different styles. If it's something that's not trending, like those little blending smoothie maker things that you see all the time, that product, for example, works well with drop shipping. Just because you really don't need it, but it's cool, right? You want it. So that can work well. You wait probably 2 weeks to get your blender. Like, it's not an immediate need. Whereas if you don't have your shorts by the end of July, early August, you're like, I'm already starting to buy sweaters now. Or I'm looking to buy sweaters and jackets for fall, or boots, or whatever case may be. Like, I mean, I got my shorts, but I'm gonna have a few weeks to wear them. I'm kind of upset about that, you know? So just be able to gauge that based on the business that you have. The other two models are gonna be more than likely in another video. But if I left anything out, please let me know in the comments below, as I would love to be able to communicate with you guys. I love talking about these type of topics. Like I said, I'm really passionate about it, mainly because I had to learn, adjust, and grow from each of these stages to know how I'm gonna run my business now. That's not my business model. Like I said, it's just not sustainable, but I was not opposed to it. Like I said, when you're trying to start a business with a little bit of money, you're looking to find different ways that you can provide the best quality possible to your customers until you can get that revenue going to be able to transition to a business that stands alone. And like I said, I'm gonna take you guys on that journey. But for now, like I said, the first thing is drop shipping. The second one is where you purchase your items maybe from a manufacturer or vendor, and you house it at a warehouse. It could be your warehouse or a third party, and they ship out the product for you, so you still are hands off on everything. And then the third model is going to be where you are pretty much the one that has the inventory. You house that inventory yourself. Now, I know that sounds similar to the second one, but it really isn't. The third one that I mentioned is actually the model where you are getting the inventory, you're placing your orders, you house it yourself, and you ship it out yourself. That's the biggest difference. You get to know, like, hey, I have my branding going. I know where it's going. I know how long it's going to take to get there. I'm the one that's manning all of the emails, not like myself personally only, but like if you have a team and things like that, like manning emails, you're pretty much a one-woman show or a small team show making it happen. And a lot of the more successful online boutiques actually go with that model. But the second one also works really well too if you have capital. If you can say, I could buy 1,000 units of XYZ, like 1,000 of those blenders that blend on their own, and be able to house them over at a warehouse, because I don't want to keep them in the, I wouldn't advise in the storage anyway, but just somewhere close to me. I can have it over there, and my orders process straight to that place, and then they're able to ship it out to my customer for me directly, and I don't have to do anything else outside of just house this and communicate with my customer. That's not a bad setup either. You know what I'm saying? But I'll get into more in depth about the second and the third model as far as approaching e-commerce and or online retail store, online boutique, whatever case it be. I will get into more detail about that. But the first one I really just wanted to harp on, just because I see these videos all the time, and I'm like, I don't want to say that they not telling the truth, because there's some truth in it. There is some success, but y'all, I don't know how to drive it hard enough. Do not put all your eggs in one basket and you have no access to any of your products, and a global pandemic happens and you can't even position your business to be able to move forward in any capacity because you really don't know where to start, and all your money is tied up into that third party, and they don't really do well with refunds of your own money. So even if you refund your customer, you don't get your money back. Now that sucks. So now you are already trying to build the capital that you need to expand your business, and some of it you don't have anymore just because they are struggling on their end and they don't want to lose business because now their business is suffering. And then, you know, government regulations are changing everything. It's just so much when it comes to COVID-19 and Corona. But like I said, I gotta get off my soapbox on this. I just wanted to tune in and say thank you guys so much for coming to my channel and for, you know, learning with me about entrepreneurship, as well as building that self-confidence to take a leap of faith and step out there and believing in yourself, believing in your product, believing in your dreams, and getting it done. So again, thank you for tuning in to my channel, Queen of Anastasia. I really excited to talk to you guys in the comments and see you guys in the next video. But thank you so much for tuning in. Bye.